rising tensions between world powers about to reshape global security. In this video, we break down shocking moves from Japan, the United States, China, and the Philippines that could change the balance of power in Asia and beyond. Japan is reportedly considering exporting Type 88 missiles to the Philippines as it expands defense cooperation amid growing concerns about China's assertiveness. At the same time, U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping held a high-stakes summit in Beijing, making trade claims and warning each other over sensitive issues like Taiwan and Iran. Trump touted potential Boeing deals in progress, but analysts say the talks produced limited strategic breakthroughs. We also explored the implications of Trump's uncertain stance on U.S. press, arms sales to Taiwan, Xi's stern warnings, and why these developments matter to regional peace and global markets. If you want the inside story on shifting alliances and geopolitical flashpoints, don't miss this. Japan is considering a major expansion of defense cooperation with the Philippines by evaluating exports of anti-ship missiles and naval assets, while recent talks between U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping highlighted ongoing tensions over trade, Iran, and Taiwan. Across Asia, military alliances are strengthening, but diplomatic solutions to major geopolitical disputes remain uncertain. According to reports, Japan's Ministry of Defense has begun assessing the possibility of exporting Type 88 surface-to-ship missiles to the Philippines after Manila reportedly expressed interest in the weapon system. The missile has a range exceeding 100 kilometers and is gradually being phased out by Japan's ground self-defense force as newer systems replace it. The move follows Japan's recent relaxation of long-standing restrictions on defense exports. Tokyo has eased rules that previously limited the overseas sale of military equipment, opening opportunities for exports of missiles, naval vessels, and other defense technologies. The policy shift reflects Japan's increasingly active role in Indo-Pacific security amid concerns about regional tensions. Military cooperation between Japan and the Philippines has accelerated significantly. During recent joint exercises involving the United States and the Philippines, Japanese forces reportedly launched Type 88 anti-ship missiles from Philippine territory for the first time. The exercises demonstrated growing interoperability among allied militaries and highlighted efforts to strengthen deterrence capabilities in the region. Tokyo is also believed to be considering the transfer of Abakuma-class destroyer escort ships to the Philippines. These vessels are currently operated by Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force and could further strengthen Manila's naval capabilities if transferred. The Philippines and Japan have deepened defense ties through reciprocal access agreements that allow forces from both countries to enter each other's territories for large-scale military exercises, including live-fire training. Additional agreements have improved logistical cooperation involving fuel, ammunition, and supply support during joint operations. These developments come amid continued concerns over security in the Indo-Pacific and increasing focus on the South China Sea. At the same time, attention shifted to recent talks between President Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping. Expectations had been high that discussions could produce meaningful breakthroughs on trade, energy cooperation, and regional conflicts. After the talks, President Trump praised the visit and his interactions with Xi. Donald Trump said, "The visit was tremendous. President Xi Jinping is an incredible guy." Trump also claimed progress had been made on trade agreements. Donald Trump said, "We reached some great trade agreements that benefit both countries." According to Trump, discussions included potential Chinese purchases of ame, rich in agriculture products, energy exports, and commercial aircraft. Donald Trump said China will buy 200 Boeing planes. However, Chinese authorities did not publicly confirm comparable agreements, and analysts noted the absence of major signing ceremonies or publicly announced investment packages. Observers pointed out that expectations surrounding the summit were significantly higher. Previous high-level meetings between Washington and Beijing had produced headline-grabbing announcements involving massive commercial commitments. This time, the outcomes appeared more limited. One analyst suggested the meeting should instead be viewed as an opening step toward future dialogue rather than a decisive breakthrough. Taiwan remained among the most sensitive topics discussed between the two leaders. President Xi reportedly reiterated China's longstanding position that Taiwan is an inseparable part of Chinese territory and warned against actions that could worsen tensions. Beijing strongly opposes foreign arms sales to Taiwan and views them as interference in internal affairs. Although the United States does not maintain formal diplomatic relations with Taiwan, Washington remains the island's most important international supporter and largest arms supplier. When asked about future decisions concerning Taiwan, President Trump indicated uncertainty. Donald Trump said, "I have made no commitment. We'll see what happens." The statement left open questions regarding future U.S. military support for Taiwan. Iran also emerged as an important subject during discussions between Trump and Xi. Trump suggested Xi favor diplomatic efforts to reduce tensions involving Tehran. Donald Trump said President Xi wants to see a deal happen, and if he can help, he wants to be involved. Trump also expressed growing frustration over negotiations with Iran. Donald Trump said, "I'm not going to be patient anymore. Iran should make a deal." Despite those comments, China maintained a more obvious public position. Chinese officials emphasized that the conflict involving Iran should never have escalated and called for diplomatic solutions rather than prolonged confrontation. Analysts noted there remains little evidence that Beijing is willing to place substantial pressure on Tehran to secure an agreement. Meanwhile, instability around key shipping routes in the Middle East continued raising concern. Reports emerged involving attacks on commercial vessels near Oman and security incidents close to the United Arab Emirates, increasing fears about disruptions to global energy supplies. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most strategically important shipping corridors. Any prolonged instability could significantly affect oil markets and international trade. Despite extensive discussions between Washington and Beijing, no concrete initiative emerged that would immediately resolve these tensions. The contrast between optimistic rhetoric and limited outcomes became never the defining features of the summit. At the same time, military cooperation in Asia continues advancing rapidly. Japan's evolving defense policies, expanding partnerships with the Philippines, and stronger regional security cooperation suggest a significant transformation in Indo-Pacific strategy. Missile exports, warship transfers, and expanded joint exercises reflect a broader shift toward collective deterrence as regional powers prepare for an increasingly uncertain geopolitical environment. While diplomacy remains active, strategic competition across Asia and beyond appears set to continue intensifying in the years ahead.